Ebenezer, the Lord has brought us this far. We welcome you to this new month. This is our first program of Flourishing Hub in March, and we thank God who has taken us through January, February, and here we are in March. I welcome you to Flourishing Hub. Edrine Osteen Mukalazi is my name. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, yes, I want you to know that this program is centered around improving the mindset of young people. How? By giving you the right mindset that you need to thrive through this world amidst the challenges, amidst all sorts of obstacles. What we do here is to give you the right mindset so that you can thrive and come out a leader, a winner. Now, Young and Flourishing Foundation brings to us Flourishing Hub. Young and Flourishing Foundation is built on 4 pillars, and these are the strongholds of this program. One of these pillars is mentorship. We all need people to look up to. We all need people who have tried what we want to try. We need people who have done what we want to do, people who have different experiences in different spheres of business. So Young and Flourishing offers this and gives you the importance, they make you to understand the importance of mentorship. Now, if you're looking out for mentors and you can't find them, Young and Flourishing can get you these mentors that you're looking for. The other pillar, which is at the heart of every person who wakes up every morning to go for work, or maybe people who are optimistic, is money. Now, we all need money. The reason we leave our homes in the morning, go, is because in return we expect to have money. But if you lack the discipline for this money, then you and your money will soon part. Now, what does Young and Flourishing do? Young and Flourishing teaches you how to work for this money, how to save this money, but most importantly, how to invest this money. Because when you only work for this money and save it, it might never bring in profits. Now, it is when you invest it that it will bring in more and more investments. And the third pillar is daring in life. We've always talked about businesses here and how they all started. Now, you too can be a world-class innovator. You too can be a world-class business person. Now, you should have that one idea in you which will be watered, and when it is watered, it will germinate. When it germinates, it will blossom, and it will be that a world-class business. The last one is, of course, strategy. Here is the 3rd month of the year. We all started this year maybe with plans that maybe by March I should have accomplished this and this and this. Now, when you look into your plans, are you already on the way to accomplishment, or you need a lot more, you need some more time? Now, Young and Flourishing reminds you that you should be strategic. You should have a plan in life, because if you do not have a plan, then you'll always be in other people's plans, which is so absurd for young people, energetic as we are. Now, this evening we are blessed to have an amazing guest. She's so hardworking, she's so enthusiastic, and I can't talk a lot about her when she's here, but most importantly, she's a CEO, she's a business proprietor, she's a wife, she's a mother. So we know she's now responsible enough. So as she's speaking to us, she has been to everywhere. If it is starting business, she knows it better. If it is a family, she knows better. Now, why do I talk a lot when she's already here? Join me as we welcome the one, Laila Noor, who is the CEO and the proprietor of Seamless Uganda Limited. Laila, you're most welcome to Flourishing Hub this evening.
Thank you very much, Edrine. I'm very pleased to be here.
Amen.
I must say it's very exciting. I've looked forward to this opportunity for a very long time. Thank you very much for having me.
And we are so much excited. You know, when we talk about Seamless Uganda Limited. I think we started from here. Why this name Seamless? What does Seamless Uganda Limited do? And
Okay, thank you very much once again. So the name Seamless actually started from someone very famous who had come to Uganda a very long time ago. She's someone I looked up to. That's the Italian Vogue magazine editor. Unfortunately, now she passed away. She came here and I did a part-time job with her for about 2 weeks. And after she left Uganda, she wrote an email and called me a seamless person. So at that time, I didn't know what the word meant. I Googled the word, I found out, and I was very excited to have someone like that refer to me as seamless. At that time, seamless wasn't yet born, but that word stayed with me, and it never left my mind.
Okay.
And slowly by slowly, I started up, dreaming about how seamless I am, how I'm able to achieve all these big things, and I just took I'll call it leap of faith, and that is how my company, Seamless Uganda Limited, came to be born.
Okay.
Yes.
So what do you do in this company?
So basically, this company started off as events managers, and we were handling a couple of events for corporate companies. But I'll call it luck or grace. One of our clients gave us a job, which was a very part-time job. It was for about a month, and it was in the field of sales and marketing. Initially, we were apprehensive on taking it on because we weren't sure if we would be able to execute it to their expectation. But luckily, we did the job. I think what helped us succeed on that job as well is working very well with teams, because that's what we are good at. And we did sales and marketing for them in that short time. And from then on, our contract was actually pushed from a month to 6 months, then from 6 months to, until now. So Seamless basically handles sales for different brands, different companies. What we do is we educate customers about people's businesses to drive revenue and also increase their brand awareness or their visibility. That is what Seamless does. And also we do corporate events. Yes.
So in other words, you're still in events management as well?
Yes, we are. We're still in events management, majorly corporate events, but our core is around sales and marketing now. Personally, I also have a degree in international business, but my interest always fell along the lines of marketing. So it's something that was pushed to me, but I still had the knowledge about it.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, this is interesting. So we're looking at flourishing in marketing and sales.
Yes.
And we want to get a leaf. We want to borrow a leaf from your background to build up this topic. Flourishing in marketing and sales, and why you choose marketing and sales, even when you have a degree in international business, but you have this interest in marketing and sales.
I think for me, apart from just having the experience, I'm also very passionate. Naturally, I'm a very passionate person, and it's something I've been able to do very well and to achieve my clients' expectations, because when I'm given a job, I will not rest until I have exceeded my clients' expectations.
Okay.
So that is what really drives us as Seamless. We have our core values, which are we have integrity, we have teamwork, but also we work with fun. So that is how Seamless operates. Okay. Yes.
So we will get back to your background, your personal background, because I believe that your background, your childhood background, has a reflection, or what we see now is a reflection of maybe your personal background or where you come from, and the environment that surrounded you as you were growing up.
Yeah, that's very true. It was exciting, it was fun growing up, but also I come from a background of entrepreneurs. 90% of my family own their own businesses. Okay. So at a very young age, I grew up seeing people manage their own things, from pharmacies, from restaurants, from hair salons, boutiques, different things. So I was lucky, I'll call it lucky, to be exposed to work. By the age of 16, I was already up and about working. I would never stay at home. Either I would be in my mom's restaurant helping out to serve food. I'm a very good cook as well. And sometimes I would be in my auntie's pharmacy, not dispensing drugs, but I mean organizing the cabinets and, you know, stacking up the stock. So that contributed a lot to my first of all, my work ethic, but also to my passion for appreciating what work can do for us as first of all, as women, and also young people. Because without work, without being focused and determined, you cannot achieve what you're planning. But ideally, also having that background played a very big role and helped me to have the discipline. Surprisingly, you'd find that as a child at about 15, 16 years old, I was already waking up at 5 a.m. to do my prayers, and then going to work with my family, with my uncles and my mom. So it was a very good thing that I must thank my family for, especially my late mother. But I believe it molded who I am today.
So was it a self-driven, or it was an obligation at home that you were supposed to go for work?
In my home, my mom was I think I take from her, she was a very hardworking person, but also very, very structured. So as much as we used to enjoy it, in our house, you could not just lie around and watch TV. You had to be doing something constructive that's adding value to you. And we used to get paid. We used to get paid something which you would keep and add to your pocket money. So, of course, that was a motivator as well. Yes.
Now, before even we go any further, I think you should advise parents out there who leave their children with maids at home. They go, they work, so this child is not introduced to business. So all they know is go home, go to school, come back home. Even in holiday, they'll be home, play all along, and there are no entrepreneurship skills invested in them at an early age.
I think that's very important for parents in general to understand that as parents, we have the power to mold our children. For instance, with my kids, the one is 11 and the other one is 6. But already they know what work is, and I do pay them when they do their deeds very well. So I think it's very important for all parents to do the same thing, to encourage their children, to even teach them about their businesses. There is something we call generational businesses, which means that if you pass away as a parent, your children have the capacity of carrying on your legacy. So I think that definitely all parents must continue doing that, and should continue doing it, as opposed to just leaving children watching TV on the internet. They can be motivated through their earnings, paying them something small, of course not spoiling them, but just giving them something to keep them motivated.
As a motivation.
Yes.
Wow. So we look at sales and marketing, and when you talk about young people, as young people are growing up, they're so ambitious in different aspects, but they underlook sales and marketing. It is a profession that is not popular amongst people of our generation, yet an organization cannot flourish without marketing and sales. So kindly explain to the viewer in simple terms the meaning of marketing and sales and the difference between the two.
Okay, so basically marketing is creating brand awareness for your business, or in other words, your product or service. And then sales is bringing the leads that you've collected through marketing, because when you're communicating to people, you'll have people reach out to you with interest. So sales, what sales does, it will bring those leads and turn them into paying customers. So ideally, the two work hand in hand to be able to achieve any organization's financial goals and also visibility. I think we've seen that for companies that aggressively go out there. There's something we call below the line marketing, which means engaging customers on the ground. That means you'll find, I think you've seen those young people who are usually in supermarkets telling you, can you please buy Omo? Yes. Can you please buy Jik? They're engaging you and educating you about a product. So that's what we call below the line marketing. Then ATL is above the line, where you see like billboards. That's sometimes a bit expensive, but it also works. But those are some of the structures or some of the activities that many companies use to be able to communicate to us. So that is all marketing. But eventually all of that communication is going to drive sales.
So are TV ads under ATL, or they're in a different category?
Definitely TV ads are in ATL.
Okay.
You're expensive.
Of course not for Church of Uganda Family TV.
Yeah.
Our charges are just moderate. So we are looking at, you've differentiated between marketing and sales. And how has your marketing and sales business impacted young people in Uganda?
I think I must say that for me, that is the most rewarding part for me as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
As much as we start up our businesses with a goal of making money, but the fact that my business has been able to offer employment opportunities to over 25,000 youth across the country, all the way to the West Nile, Central, East, name it. We have reached there because when we go there doing these activities for our clients, we will definitely use people in those locations because it's cheaper for us as well. And also, we want to enable youth. We want to help them. We want to give them opportunities to earn a living, to get them away from doing destructive things and learning, because some of them usually come to us when they're either about to graduate or when they've already graduated. So even when they've graduated, the experience they have, the time they have with us, it allows them to understand where they should go after that. There are those who will say, I think I belong in this career. Then there are those ones who will say, I've got my experience, it has built my confidence, but I'll take a different path. So for me, as an entrepreneur, the most exciting part is just giving back, being able to give people jobs. We don't charge for those services. We offer jobs free of charge because actually all of our clients pay for the teams that we manage. So anyone who knows Seamless, even if you went to Adjumani right now, you'll hear people know Seamless because they know that that is our home. It's somewhere we can go to and get something, something to give us a living. Yeah, so for me, that's my most rewarding part.
Now, there is something you talked about as we were starting, and I think this is the right time to bring it back. You said that in Seamless, you're not just doing business, but you're even passionate about sales and marketing. Now, how does someone build their passion in any business? If one wants to be an entrepreneur, how do they build this passion so that they can grow to love what they do?
I think the first thing, as now I'm speaking to the young people out there, the first thing is to first of all find out who you are. Okay. It's very, very important to know who you are, what your strengths are, what you're good at. Now, when you discover that, for instance, you might be a person who likes maybe sewing clothes, for example. So you will know that my strength is I love sewing clothes. So that means my strength is in making clothes. That will ideally lead you to maybe a fashion designer. So once you discover that, you will definitely be passionate about it because you love it. It's a very bad ideology for young people to just study and do jobs just because you want to earn a living. You will never be satisfied. And for me, I think as an entrepreneur, as I was growing up, that is what kept me trotting around. I've done all kinds of jobs. I have waitressed. When I was in London, I used to waitress part-time as a student, the part-time jobs.
Now, we need to get to that story as well. How did you get to London?
Okay, so after my senior six, my mother thought it was best for me to go out there. One, because the exposure. You had
your senior six from Uganda?
Yes, I did my senior six from Kaboja International School and my O-level from Bugema Adventist. Then after that, my family just decided it's the best thing for me. Why? Because the exposure, number one, but also when you're out there on your own. I wasn't alone, I had family, but you're not under mommy's, shadow anymore. You're forced to develop a certain kind of discipline and to learn how to look after yourself. So all those little things that I was doing to earn a living, I did babysitting, I sold shoes in big department stores, I sold perfumes, all sorts of things. But now I was doing those because I was studying. Because in the UK you can't, some people cannot get you can't get a full-time job unless you can do part-time jobs when you're a student. So those are the jobs I was doing to survive, but they also played a very big part in my life and shaping who I am when it comes to, first of all, when you're talking to a customer, and this is very key in marketing, you will tell them about a product the way it is. You'll communicate how something is. You don't lie or you don't twist things. Now that's something I think I picked up from the other side, and it has helped me here. And then also just interacting with different people. Now that's how the sales comes in, because you get that confidence to be able to talk to different kinds of people. If you also understand different languages, I'm lucky enough to speak about 4 languages. I speak Luganda, Swahili, English, and a bit of French. So all that I think contributed greatly to who I am as a person. Yes.
Okay. Now we get back to passion. We are still looking at passion, and you told us, so we had to also get this clear.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, now we are getting back. You told us that one, you should not focus on money as you're planning to start business.
Definitely.
And you are giving us those other attributes that someone should consider as they're doing business.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If you, because after discovering what you're passionate about, there's some characters every successful person has. For instance, self-discipline. If, for instance, you have a company, even if you're starting up a small kiosk somewhere as a young person, you want to find your way, you're not going to open it up at 10 a.m. And then tomorrow you open up at 9 a.m. That's already a sign of...
And the other day you open up at midday.
At midday, inconsistency, and making customers not understand who you are. But then if you're doing that and you're passionate about what you're doing, but you follow that passion with other things like focus, commitment, integrity is very key. And also just having that self-drive of, even when a situation is bad, the economy is not doing well, you will still get up and work. So that's why passion is good to have and to discover it, but young people need to accompany it with other attributes as well in order to be successful.
Okay.
Yes.
When you talked about self-discipline, you reminded me, yesterday I was somewhere in hospital, so we were conversing with someone, and she had been given the 3 months leave, a maternity leave. Yes. So she was like, now I feel like requesting for some more 2 weeks. And then our colleague responded and said, but of course this is not your business, so that time is enough. Then I told her, do you know that in your business you can't even rest for 3 weeks? Exactly. You go back in the second week. Personally,
it's like I still live in my business. But what I mean is, I do take time off because I believe in also resting and spending time with family and having fun. I love to travel and spend time with my children. But it's also very important to understand that when it's your business, you have to put yourself on a different level compared to the people that you're leading. You can't expect your team to be there to run things for you. It's good to have people that you train who are able to fill your shoes when you're not there, but ideally your presence should always be felt. And I mean that in a sense that even when you're not around, you could have traveled somewhere, but at the end of the day, how are you communicating with the people that you're working with? How are you engaging with your clients? So those are some of the things that are key for any person to have.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. We are looking at, you who is just joining us now, we are looking at flourishing in marketing and sales. And, today we are learning a lot, especially you who is passionate about marketing and sales, because it is very hard for a company to survive without marketing and sales. That is why very many of the companies we work for have that department, sales and marketing department. But do you even understand what this means? Now, I believe you've worked with people who have studied from Uganda, and you who has an experience from the UK. Let us try to compare the way education is conducted, especially in marketing and sales. Do you think here we get we get enough exposure
I think the challenge, I'll say the education bit is not bad here, because I did, a lot of my education here as well, so, and it still contributed to who I am today. But I think what our education system needs to improve on is the practical bit of it. I remember when I was in London in Southgate College, when we were doing marketing courses or doing anything related to, let's say, business law, we would, because you'd have different modules with different things that you're studying, they would take you to an actual court, and you sit in and you listen and you observe. For marketing, we would go to like Marks and Spencer's and, talk to customers about products, give out flyers, things like that. So I think that is the part that we really need to work on as a country for our young people, for the way we teach them, so that we're not just equipping them with the theoretical part of things, but we're also giving them that hands-on experience when it comes to engaging before they leave university. Because here in my field, I've interfaced with it a lot. I do get people who are passionate about sales and marketing, and you see the person has the attributes like confidence, they love what they're doing, but then when it comes to the actual practical bit, they don't know what to do. So as a company, we also have that challenge. However, we're blessed to have clients who are very supportive. We offer trainings which are done very intensely. And most of the time, the people that we work with, by the time they are leaving Seamless or moving on to other opportunities, they're never the same. Okay. They leave us when they've acquired a lot. So even if they go in different fields like law or whatever else they pursue, our sales and marketing has also laid a foundation on who they are or who they will be. So I think that's something that we need to work on, to just make sure that we empower youth with not just the books, but some practical bits. Go into a business. I know there are internships, but the other side, the way it's done is that you're real hands-on. When you come in, you're like a real employee. You will behave like you're part of the business until you leave, even if it's for a month. But by that time you leave, you've already picked up a lot. Okay. So I think that's something that we need to improve on. I know there are many companies these days here in our home that look for interns, bring them in, teach them, and help them to also prepare them for their future careers. Okay. Yes.
Wow. It is an interesting conversation. It comes to sales and marketing. Now, if you want to flourish in sales and marketing, look no further. So we have her. We have the vision bearer. We have the brain behind all the innovations in Seamless Uganda. So, Laila, we are back, and before the break, there is something interesting that you had brought in. We are looking at some of the attributes, and there are attributes you talked about that are really missing in very many young people here. We are dwelling much on passion, but there is something you talked about: integrity. We cannot just underlook integrity when it comes to flourishing in any business, even if it is not marketing and sales. And I request you to draw more flesh on integrity and how someone can build integrity when it comes to flourishing in business.
Okay, thank you, Edrine. So basically, integrity is something that will break or make your business. For instance, when it comes to, I'll apply it again to the work that we do. If you are selling products and you're lying to people that they do A, but yet the products do B, you're already breaking your integrity. And chances are that if customers find out, they will not come back to you. So your credibility will be ruptured as a business. So it's something that every business must have, but also every young person must have. And this I mean by, for instance, if a customer has, let's say, bought something from you, and they've left their change behind. Maybe they got a phone call and forgot. Do you as a young person have the integrity to call that customer back and return that money? Those are things that I think constantly young people are tested on, but there are attributes that you cannot compromise as a person as well. I think also with our religious values, Christianity, Islam, those are the things that they teach us. So integrity is a very big aspect for businesses and for also young people looking to either start entrepreneurship or employment. Okay. Yeah.
So we look at your experience. It is quite almost a 10 years experience in marketing and sales. So if I have this passion, I'm so passionate about marketing and sales, but I don't know how to start, where to start from. What advice do you have for me?
The advice I would give to you is, first of all, once you're passionate about something, that is your step, your beginning. Because once you're passionate, it means you're going to want to learn. And once you want to learn, it means that you're trainable. So ideally, that will be your doorway. But ideally, for any marketing person, the first thing to do is, when you want to be a good marketer, is to be able to understand the products or services that you're marketing, and then understand whom they apply to, what we normally call your target audience or your niche. So those are some of the things that a good marketer should have, but also good communication skills. The communication skills cuts across to also salespeople, because when you're communicating as a salesperson, you should be able to communicate clearly, have confidence. Confidence is a very huge aspect in sales. If you come to market to me a product and you don't believe in it, to sell to me a product and you don't believe in it, 99% of the time I won't buy it, because I have resonated with your energy that you're also not sure about what you're selling. So ideally, what I would advise young people is to, first of all, work on those things. But also, when you're going to sell, you need to be able to understand a customer's problem, and you be in position to, it can be a problem, it can be a good thing that they're looking for. So you should be able to come with solutions to customers. That's how you make it in sales.
So in other words, sales and marketing is a solution-giving business.
Yes, definitely it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there's something you talked about, confidence. For instance, I'm marketing a product. Does it mean that I have to first use this product, or I just need to get background information about this product?
Sometimes it depends. If it's an actual tangible product, yes, it would be good for you to use it. For instance, if it's a soap, use it and see, so that by the time you go to communicate to customers, you've already tried it. However, if it's a service, you could maybe first read about that service. Or sometimes a service could be in form of an application, it could be an Uber app or something. You could first navigate with that service so that you understand it well, so that by the time you're getting to that point where you're selling and marketing to a customer, you have hands-on experience. That contributes to your confidence as well, because you know what is either working or not working. But then that comes back to integrity. If it's not working, then I don't recommend for anyone to go out there and push something that is not working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, still about becoming a good marketer or sales agent. Do I first need to go through, maybe have this formal training? For instance, I graduate with a bachelor's degree in maybe sales or marketing, all I need is these attributes you talked about, and then hands-on training.
It always helps. In my experience, I have met people who don't actually have a degree in sales or marketing, but they just have some attributes about them. For instance, they're very passionate, they're aggressive, they're ready to go out there and achieve, because a salesperson does not rest until they achieve. So with such a scenario, it means that we come in and train you. For instance, if you're going to sell a product such as a bottle of mineral water, you'd have to understand the benefits of that mineral water, what value does it add to someone's life, all of that, and then you'll be able to sell. So we have that scenario. Then we have the scenario of someone who actually studied sales or did marketing. For such a person, of course, now the knowledge is there, but it's now just shaping them. We have what we call product training, where we train you about a product or service. Then also what we have is a sales pitch with a value proposition, which means I approach you with my sales pitch. How am I approaching you? We have some tactics that we use. For instance, eye contact. Those are things that now You will not be taught at university, but you'll be taught the knowledge about marketing, for instance. But we'll teach you how to stand when you're talking to a customer, your approach, your body language, your confidence. All of those actually play a role in how you're going to close down to join the two, sales and marketing. So they are very important attributes to have as well.
Okay. So I look at someone who is watching us this evening, and they would like to know some of these. You've just mentioned them. Eye contact. Can you just break them a little more for someone so they can understand them, that you need eye contact because it helps you to this. Then you need confidence. You need all those attributes.
Okay. So normally what I teach my teams is, because we have the product training, which is normally done by our client. Yes. But then we have the sales techniques, which are done by us as Seamless. So there we'll start off with, first of all, how do you engage with a customer? When you see a customer, don't look away, don't look down like you're trying to come and steal from them. Look at them with confidence, and then, maintain the eye contact. Because once you do that, you're already building trust. But then your eye contact, of course, should be in a sense that it's a smiling way. I'm looking at you, but you're seeing friendliness within my face. Then the other thing I encourage my teams to do is you greet the person. If it's, let's say, a young person, you know how you're going to greet them. If it's an older person, you know how you're going to greet them. If it's a person of a certain age, you know how you behave towards them. Then the distance that you're liaising, I always tell people, never approach a customer and you're practically not giving them any breathing room. You're like selling to them and your face is close to them. No, give them some breathing space, a particular distance. We train all of that. And then, you start engaging. The other thing, again, is language, which is a big factor. I always tell my teams is, if you go to a window and you're selling, once you meet that lady there and she says, "Je baleko," you immediately switch to her language. You will not continue with English or Lugbara because that is what you know. You immediately switch to the language that will get the customer to have that comfort. So those are things that we encourage, and usually for us when we recruit, we look for teams that at least can speak two or three languages. For instance, if you're in Uganda, it's English and Luganda, at least that's a must. If the other languages like Runyankole, Swahili, those are a bonus. But if we're activating, let's say, in Central, then you should be able to communicate to customers in the languages that you know. Exactly. If you meet customers that are just want to keep it straight English, no problem, stick to that as well. Mm-hmm. So there are those techniques that we teach: the eye contact, the body language, the greeting, the getting down to a customer's level. For instance, if you meet someone, it happened a while ago when we were doing some market activations for a particular client of ours, and we would be recruiting customers. It was mass marketing, and we would be recruiting customers sometimes who are actually vendors. So but those are the people who would get on this product. So I would encourage our teams is bend down low to that vendor's level. You can kneel down and talk to them, as opposed to standing up and the person you're selling to is. So there are some techniques that we must have as salespeople that will definitely contribute to how we close sales. And of course, if you go to the corporate sales, it's a different limelight. You're going to a bank, enter dressed like a banker. Come in dressed smartly, and just be able to make them feel that comfort, or to be able to connect with you as a person. So sales is all about, has a lot of connecting with people in terms of those techniques that I've given you. The smiling, the eye contact, the body language, the language as well, and generally just being able to close that element to be able to bring in a sale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in all that you've talked about, I've realized that very many young people carry on the sales and marketing when they're so much frustrated that even when they are speaking to clients, they speak to clients with a lot of bias, and you realize that sometimes we fail to close down the deals because of this.
I think that goes back to my point of you as a salesperson, you have to come, if you're going to do it well, you have to have the confidence in what you sell. And that's what comes down to trying a product or service before you go out there. Because once you use it, you'll have that confidence to know that this works. So by the time you're speaking to Edrine and he wants to try, let's say, an Uber service, you will be able to say this up, the drivers come to you in time or ABCD. So it comes down to having that self-belief, but also the confidence and also loving what you do. Perhaps people who are like that, who are demotivated, are just doing those jobs because they're really looking to earn a living instead of earning while enjoying. It should go hand in hand. Yes.
Yeah, it still gets back to, especially those who have studied, that you realize someone studies this course not because they wanted it, but because it was a second choice, and so they have nothing to do. This is what the university has offered them to do. So they study because they have to go through the system. The parents are willing to pay the tuition. Now when they graduate, all the frustrations, and when they are frustrated the first time, even the other bitterness comes back.
Exactly.
I didn't even want to do this course,
Yes.
and I was forced into it. So you realize that someone does this with a lot of frustration and disillusionment and all that. Yeah.
I think my word of encouragement to such people is never tie yourself down. Life is large. You might have studied education, but when your passion is not in education, but it's never too late to actually discover yourself and do what you want. Because if you do what you want or what you enjoy, you'll find your structure or your transactions will be able to come through much easily. And that's why you see there's so many philosophers and quotes out there where people say, do what you love, discover who you are, and then there you're able to achieve your dreams. So it's never too late to change course. Course of life. It doesn't mean that just because you did marketing and you want to be a lawyer, it's not possible. It is always possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in our earlier discussions, you told us that Seamless Uganda started in 2010, but you eventually went legal in 2013. Why did you choose to go legal, and how important is it to a business?
Well, like I said, after meeting that great lady, Franca Sozani, and her, highlighting to me that I was a seamless person, and then I just stuck on that name and, continued with my vision. I was focused. The baby was there, and I was actually there, not registered, but I was doing small little functions for people. But later on, I realized that I wanted to now go big. I wanted to work with big clients. I wanted to achieve big goals. That's why I decided to make sure, because I knew that the big companies will not work with you if you're not compliant, if you don't have certain documents. So I had to, but also I knew it was growth. It was a bit scary, but I knew that I couldn't stay in my comfort zone. So I had to take that option.
Okay. So are there any challenges you've encountered in this business, or it has all been a soft landing?
Not at all. I don't think life is ever a soft landing. Challenges, of course, we all know that COVID hit everyone. It hit us really bad, and for me, I think as an entrepreneur, it really affected me because I have teams behind me looking at me. So that really, really hit us bad because many people had to lose their jobs because most of our clients had closed down the projects because the operations were not going to be easy to manage during that time. But also, what the other challenge we have is, as much as we want to empower youth, we sometimes find challenges as well. Some of them are not focused. We have that challenge as well. Some of them will work with us for a week. You've trained. You've given them all your skills to be able to have them as part of your team, and someone works for 1 or 2 weeks and moves on. So those are some of the major things that I can say have been quite challenging for us as a business.
Then, especially when you talk about COVID-19, very many businesses closed down. Actually, as we're recovering from the lockdowns, some businesses never surfaced. What keeps you surviving up to date, even through the challenges that you go through?
I think, first of all, even by the way, through COVID, we were still operating, but at a very small scale, because one of our clients, who's a telecom, at that time had to keep operations. So ideally, we had some people who were doing the sales for them. So we worked, but at a very small scale. The other thing that I can say kept us or helped us revive is because sales and marketing is a huge element for any business. So ideally, no business can function. However small it is, it needs to have that. I'm not saying a department, but it needs to have some strategy on how they are going to drive their sales and marketing. So that is one of the things that worked out for us and helped us to stay in existence. The other part of our primary service, which is events, actually went on the low. But this other side, it's just started getting back from 2022. But this other side stayed functioning. Okay. Yeah. During COVID, it was at a smaller scale, but immediately after the lockdown, we sort of resumed business.
Before you even continue, if someone would want to follow up the activities and the services of Seamless, how do they get in contact with you?
First of all, we have a lot of visibility online. We have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have those pages there. But also we have our website, which is www.seamlessug. They can always go there, write to us as well. So if they maybe need vacancies or things like that, we have a very active team that manages our digital. So that's how they can get in touch with us. Contact numbers, address, everything is there.
Okay. Now, as we draw closer to the end of this show, what advice do you have to young people having prospects of getting into entrepreneurship? I know we've been talking about a few of them, but now this is the right time to fully exhaust
that's
this.
True. Yeah. I think my word of advice to young people is whatever dream you have, just do not let it go. You will have days, I've had them myself, where you feel like what you're doing is not going to work, and the people around you might not even encourage you. But I think that the goal is for you to keep focused and know that this is what I want, this is my vision, and to have goals and to make sure that you do not give up. You try to achieve and have that discipline, the elements that I talked about, consistency, integrity, and being able to know that this is what I want to do and this is the direction that I want to go, and you'll be able to achieve your dream. Yes.
Wow. So we want to appreciate you for being part of Young and Flourishing Network as a mentor of young people. Indeed, young people, our generation needs more of you, needs more of your mentorship.
Thank you.
And we also want to appreciate your service with Mr. Sabiti Habat. And
Habat's my brother, actually. He's my brother from a different mother, but we're brothers. I mean, we're siblings.
Wow. That is so interesting. Yeah. And I can see you share the vision.
We share the vision.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the other team of over 40 mentors, we're really grateful for you people. But as a mother, as an African mother, what advice do you have for someone watching us this evening?
Oh, it's a very good question, a very good point. My advice is, as much as we're moving in a world that is very fast moving, and there's a lot happening, and too much is going on. But as mothers, I think it's our role to instill the belief of God in our children from the very go when they're still young. Because if they have that instilled in them at a very young age, no matter what challenges they meet in life, they'll still be able to continue. So as much as we're exposing them to the best education, we're making them travel all over the world or different opportunities, let us not forget that God or Allah comes first. So we need to focus and keep that moving in their lives. Because even after we leave here, that is what they'll have to give them the comfort. Yes.
Now, Just send greetings to a few people who have been watching you.
Wow,
this
first of
evening.
all, to my children, Jelani and Liam, and Habat Sabiti, to my friends, my team at Seamless, I cannot forget them. They're amazing. I have Bright, Daniel, a couple of other people, Raymond. It's an amazing team. Isaac, Joeria, I have a very good team. But also to the entire Seamless fraternity that might not sit in the office with me, but they're out there still doing the services that we provide. Without my teams, I don't think I would be where I am today. I value my teams very much. I value young people. I like to encourage, to mentor, and to motivate them. So a shout out to all of you and to my family, not forgetting family. So thank you. Thank you, Edrine.
Especially the fact that this is family TV.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, but we are grateful to you who started with us and you've followed through with us up to this point. Edrine Osteen Mukalazi is my name. This is Flourishing Hub every Monday at 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Now, we're got to take a leave, but next on your screen is evening prayer. And remember to wake up with us on Good Morning Family. Tomorrow we have an exciting guest who is going to share with us a lot of things in issues at hand. So watch Good Morning Family from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. God bless you. Have a good night.
Thank you.